What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans are action spawning on the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Skady. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is HellsRavage. It's currently 1-0 in this best of 3 series between these two amazing players for the Champions League. Skady has the lead with some impeccable Oranos play in the first game. Hell's going for a bit of an all-in attack there and it not quite working out the way he'd planned and not able to take that first game. But he's switching things up this game on this map, Tundra, going with the Zeus. Very, very strong god in this matchup. Zeus versus Oranos has always been one of those matchups which most people think is fairly even and is very much skill-based and map-based as well. So we'll see if Hells can pull anything out here. Generally speaking, we've been seeing a lot of players going for super early Jason Odysseus harassment on the early game, following up with Centaurs and Hoplite and possibly Hippocon as a response to the standard Oranos. And then the Oranos players in turn, their job is to try and relieve themselves, is that the right word, possibly, of any of that early pressure as best as they possibly can. Follow that up with killing as many centaurs as they possibly can, utilizing the shockwave to help them out with that one, and try not to lose any villagers to centaur raids, and hopefully hit enough pressure onto the Zeus that you can slow the Zeus down from getting to the late game, or even just winning on with the centaur critical mass, of which if you lose all of your heroes as Oranos, then it's really difficult to deal with them. So we'll see who can control their army the best in this one. We've got some relics on the map here. In this corner, we have the trio's bow. Actually, probably, it seems like a really strong relic, and it's probably okay for the Zeus player who may decide to make some actually it's probably good for both players, because both players are going to make some archers a little bit later in the game. Getting the trio spur is going to help out with the Arcus a little bit later. Not so much the Terma, because I think if you shoot further away from the unit, it's a little bit more inaccurate. So you might not want to grab this one into the temple until you start making the Arcus, just because it might throw off the Terma a little bit. I'm not 100% sure how it works, the game mechanics. Possibly somebody can tell me in chat, but it's a bit confusing. And the Shingles of Steel over here is actually a huge relic for both players. If you look at the mana, if you give that mana an extra 50% HP, it's gone up to 1500. And if you give this house an extra 200%, it's going to be, I can't do math. I can't do this, guys. I was going to try. Is it 1800? That doesn't seem right. 12, like Stop. Okay, stop. All right. Decent Koala says stop, so I'll stop. It goes up quite a bit. Okay, it goes up 200%. There you go. You can do the math. 200% of 450. There you go. Temple's up for Hells. He's got 2 villagers on it. He's going to be making the early Jason here. I've never been the biggest fan of the early Jason. If we check out his resource count here, you can see Hells is slightly behind the food here. He's going to have enough to advance, but I much prefer to advance that 10 seconds faster, get Sylvan Lore going nice and early, and have the Jason moving out a little bit later. Because by himself, he may get lucky and find a villager, which looks like he will possibly actually do. So this is going to just like completely... I'm just going to be very wrong here, as the Jason's going to move in and push this citizen off. Do we see Hells spots this? He actually didn't scout this, so he's been very lucky with this Jason moving straight past the citizen, and Hell's not paying attention to it at all. He does finally turn around, and the other citizen's going to be running away now, and we'll see the Catastropus blocking or trying to path block as best as he can. This is actually pretty brutal. He could possibly kill this if you do this perfectly, but it's looking like Skady is going to be able to get out of here as the Catastropus is going to do a little bit of damage here. Prometheus comes in with the 430 for Skady. Military barracks coming down, counter barracks coming down. Villager does get away. Jason not going to be able to do too much more harass us. There's still the Oracle in the base. We do see the, or not the Oracle, the Aurochs in the base. The Promethean comes out, gets deleted, turned into Offspring. They're going to be looking for something to do. We do see the immediate Sylvan Law coming down and Odysseus coming out for Hells. He's going to be looking for some raids nice and early. We do see the Jason moving in onto this location over here, but he's not paying attention. He's running straight past the town center. Nice micro there from Skady to pull that villager in here to turn him around. Don't want to be taking too much damage onto this Jason too early because he does take quite a bit of time to rebuild. If we check that out, it's 9 seconds. So if you do kill a Jason, it's effectively killing half a villager, as well as dealing all of the economic damage that it does with the 100 food and 50 gold. Prometheans now coming in onto these Aurochs here. Hells can just turn around and fight this here with his villagers. Oh, that's a really low HP villager there, gathering food outside the base. Nice pick off there by Skady. That's really good for him. We just see the Valor coming down on Skady as well. He's going to have 2 Hero Toma and 1 Hero Murmillo. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he wanted or not. The Odysseus is now coming out. Villagers will get picked off again if he's not careful. He does almost retrieve that one. Odysseus is going to be sending these Prometheans away. Not accurate enough to shoot that one. We do see a bolt onto the Murmillo hero there as the Centaur is running through. Does spot this citizen, so he will probably be revisiting there, and the heroes, or the hero Jason coming back with his Catastropus ally, will spot these Prometheans running around, but will not be able to pick them off at all. And we do see a military academy now coming down for Hell. So this is the more aggressive variant of this build, going for early hoplite instead of Hippocon as well. It gives the Zeus player some options if the Oranos player goes for a second town center, in that if the Oranos player commits to an attack, you can sneak a hoplite raid over around onto the town center and pick it off nice and easily. We do see these Prometheans coming in. Nice house here from Hells. I love it when players build their houses next to these wood lines here coming out, because it does really restrict the movement of raids in and out of this location here. And you can just run these villages out the back way when they come in through this way, and you're going to be totally fine. Here's the raiding group though from Skady. He has spotted that wood gathering operation there, and I don't think that Hells is going to be spotting this this raid coming around onto his base here at all until the very last second. If he has his eye on the minimap, he will be able to move these villagers away. But Skady's taking his time. He's going right to the edge of the map here. I love this raid from Skady. Incredibly good. He's going to move in, and Hells does notice it nice and early, and we do see that house blocking thing there is going to help bringing these guys back. But Hell's choosing to stop on this Tundra tree here. Going to actually lose a villager there for free. Another villager will go down with the shockwave as well. And possibly a third one, as the we're not going to be going for that third one there, as the army of Skady is going to be deciding to retreat there. The hoplites do get a couple of jabs away, but that's really big for Skady and huge raid. We've got a couple of Centaur just chilling over here. If you ever see your opponent raiding you as Zeus when you're going for these Centaur plays, you got to be active enough to deal with the raid while raiding with your Centaur, because if your opponent is raiding with an army, he's not going to be able to focus too hard on defending. We do see the Centaur going to be catching these guys out. We'll pick off one Murmillo, then retreat back a little bit, and then look for his raids to happen. And the Catastropus is chasing him back. What are you doing here? Why are you turning around? And we just get the big army here from Skady coming around the back of Hells. He's very out of position with these hoplite, but we do see the army going straight for these villagers right now. This is going to be absolutely devastating. We see some villagers getting pulled here for Hells. Another villager pick off there by Skady. He's really good at going after those low HP villagers there. Another one will be falling. The Centaur going to be coming in. Nice micro onto the hero Terma there, pushing these Centaur back. The villagers coming over here are going to be greeted by these hoplites, but these are medium Murmillo right now, but Skady's deciding to retreat a little bit now while these villagers moving forward onto this location to build a granary, but he's going to be losing another villager here to the Terma on this location as another villager is retreating away. But Hells he still hasn't lost any Centaur. This is the big thing that hasn't happened just yet for Hells. He's still got a lot of these Centaur alive. Needs to micro really well. He's lost his first one now. Not only is he losing villagers in this fight, he's losing Centaur. The Terma are trying to kill a Hippocon there, but should be on top of those Centaur. Hells losing another one in this fight is absolutely huge. The Hoplite finally getting tasked over here onto these Terma, and Skady going to be retreating them while this is going on. Really low HP villager here, 6 HP, another villager going down in the top here by these Murmillo. We're just going to town on them. Another villager dying, another villager dying. All but one of these hunt villagers have been picked off right now by Skady. Skady sitting at 93 population right now to Hells' 53 population. An absolute gigantic advantage right now for Skady, who's going to just retreat now and take his victory and sit on it, because it's just a matter of time now for his economy to kick in and him just be even further ahead. Centaur will pick off a Murmillo though, but I don't think he's going to care too much about that, because that was absolutely huge. Centaur now moving forward, going to be trying to find something. We should see a town center coming up for Skady, bringing his hero citizen over there to do so. There's the Valor onto the army for Skady. It's going to be out of Valors now, I believe. So he's only got this many heroes left unless he decides to convert them into heroes. It's a very expensive process. More villagers being brought forward onto this hunt from back in the base. As Hells is going for a strictly hoplite, or basically hoplite army here. He's going to need as much food as he can possibly get his hands on. Still not picking up that trio spot his army's right next to. It's a bit confusing. There he goes to pick it up finally. But second town center for Skady is going to be an issue. It's going to be more of an issue now than it normally would, because had he gone for this normally without that big fight there, then this hoplite army would be scary, and he has to be really careful about army movements. And if Hells did make an aggressive move onto that town center while Skady was out of position, it would have mattered. But right now, this army is just so small for Hells. He's actually throwing down an archery range or two with the trios bow. Is going to help out quite a bit to keep him away, keep those Toxotes away from the Terma. We see another raid onto this wood line, even more villager pickoffs. He's going to surround this villager building the house. One villager was retreated, but this units or this army from Skady going to be going for a surround on these villagers. Not going to quite get it, but he will get 2 more villager kills here. It looks like getting the rest of them into the town center. We see the Centaur coming over here. Do get a citizen pick off though, so that's absolutely huge. Leveling the playing field just a little bit there, but I think Skady's villager kill count right now is probably up to 9 or so, or maybe even 10, where it's only 1 citizen is basically like 2.5 or 3, depending on how you count them. Villagers being pulled off of their out of their home base here, going to be trying to chase this army around. The units from Skady going to be chasing these around. He does terrorize 1 Murmillo to force these Centaur out, and more of these straggler units are going to get picked off. I love this by Skady. Picking these guys off is huge. Every single little unit you can pick off slows down the Zeus army considerably. You see some hoplites that are just chilling over here. We'll slow this Oranos army down just a little bit. And the villagers deciding to fight here. Shockwave onto that army to delay them. And that's going to be the ceasefire cast there by Hells, because he realizes that he's not going to be able to save these villagers, and losing another whole bunch of those villagers is just going to be too devastating for him. And that's going to be a little bit of time for him to play with. We'll see what he chooses to do here. The population difference right now is 85 to 121, and there's no resources to grab a town center here for Hells. And he's about to be running out of this gold mine here. It's actually got 1100 left on it. So actually a second town center here might not have been the worst idea. He doesn't have any food in his base. He's got the berries to be eaten, but no goat or anything like that. So it would be a little bit difficult for him to deal with that. Not dropping this relic is a little bit of a questionable move, because he's making these Toxotes. The extra 2 range for the Toxotes, as I said, does help quite a bit when having to deal with a Terma, because it keeps them nice and out of range. And now Hells is going to be moving forward here, looking to take down the Skady army. They're kind of just chilling here, and I think Hells wants to fight this, and it's looking like he's going for it. It still doesn't have any upgrades. The Hippocon running face first into the Murmillo though is not exactly what you want, but Skady deciding to retreat here, not really happy with this fight, realizes that if he takes it and loses, he will be losing this gold mine, which could be the game here. So he's going to be playing it a little bit safer, retreating away. There's still quite a scary amount of center. The Odysseus still not dumping that relic in, and the villager's going to be retreating away. If we check out Skady's gold situation, he's got 256 gold, so he doesn't have to be mining gold here, and he's also got 4 citizen over on the bottom gold mine here. Those villagers that retreated away could potentially just go onto these trees. Do we see a heroic age? We've got Hyperion coming in, so that's going to be really hard for Hells to deal with. Going to lose quite a few of these units, and not only losing them, they start fighting himself as well, and he has no upgrades, so it's not easy to pick them off either. So now Skady is going to be moving back out, and Hell's turning around, going to get a couple of free shots off while Skady is getting a little bit out of position there with his army. Turn around, going to get a little bit of return fire there. Hyperion comes in. Will we see an instant chaos? Yes, instant chaos, but the centaur a little bit too close to his opponent there. Turning around now, ready to take this fight. Going to lose this Gaia centaur. The rest of the Gaia units will be falling, but we'll see if Hells can take this fight at any level right now. The Centaur are on this bottom gold mine here, but there is a Mamillo down here already, and Hells is trying to continue here, but it's actually looking not too bad because these term are not retreating away, but the Satyr are coming in here, and once these come out en masse, it's really difficult for anyone to deal with them, and Hell's actually going to be tapping out here. Not able to get this push like he wanted. Staying in one town center meant that he had to go for it. Honestly surprised he didn't just bring some villagers forward as well for the all-in like he did in the last game. But well played by Skady. Nice heroic timing. 2 town centers. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fight early. Picking off so many of Hell's food villages. Honestly, this is possibly a fairly good case for maybe Zeus players just rote doing this strategy. Maybe it's not the best strategy against Oranos players anymore because they've adapted quite well and they know their timings. And if they hit that timing on your villagers and you can't defend it, it's going to be just too hard for you to hit your own timings back on your opponents. There's probably got to be some different versions of this Zeus strategy here that may be a little bit stronger or potentially just protect your villagers a little bit more. Anyways, GG, well played by Skady, taking this series 2-0. If you enjoyed these games, please consider following the Twitch channel or hitting the subscription button or the subscribe button on the YouTubes. And we'll be moving on to another game very soon, so stick with me. I think that Athena here, actually, in hindsight, from a post-game analysis, would have been a good idea. I think there's not enough people who go Athena in this matchup. You go for a 4:15 advance time. Go for a 4:15 advance time and military academy archery range, and you make your Jason and Odysseus straight away. And you just go for it, and you go for like a restoration cheese or something like that. There was a really defensive gold mine here, but all the hunt is forward. So if you can push off hunt, your opponent basically can only make Terma, and you're fine with that. So I don't know. Apparently Odin King says that Athena doesn't work against Oranos. But you could possibly just go, actually, you could probably just go Hoplite Hippocon Athena as well. You don't have to go to Toxotes, but with the relic, I mean, it makes it a little bit different. I don't know. I'm just a noob.